I wanted to show this because I was considering releasing some content on this, and I figured I'll just like show it to you on the call and see if you guys have any questions about it. It's actually a super powerful mental model that I just like, I don't know if I made up my mind or if I didn't see it anywhere. So it just kind of like all came together because what I was trying to do was communicate to my team the same things in my head about our customers and about their journey and about how I'm going to make offers to them and like how to think about our messaging. Okay. Cause it's super big deal. Messaging like is everything. Okay. So if your offer is good, now you've got to get your messaging tight. But before the offer comes the customer avatar, right? Like who is your customer? And if you know that, so I drew a little picture of a little stick figure here. If you know who your customer is, then you can build out what I pretty much consider like just basically two types of messaging. There's only two. There's either cold messaging to their cold audience. So like unknown, unaware, they don't trust you. They don't know who you are. That messaging is different than those who know you, who are aware of you, or maybe a hot project prospect who trust you somewhat or trust you a bunch. So to simplify messaging down, there's only one of two things. It's either they don't know who you are at all, they're ice cold. That type of messaging is going to be different than someone who does know who you are, is aware of you, and they do like you, or they're more of a hot lead, or they trust you. So this is like how I like look at our messaging. It's one of two things. And so as this actually, you can use this mental model for a lot of stuff. And I think it's actually super powerful. I think it's actually one of the coolest things ever, because when I was writing some marketing copy for our website, I actually thought about it this way and I didn't realize it. And I came back later and I was like, oh, okay, actually, this is actually how I was thinking already. Anyways, here's how the model looks so I can show my team, like when you're considering what to say and when to say it, use this model. So it only works first and foremost, if you know who your customer is, right? You have to know who your customer is. So if you ever go to a website and you're kind of like not sure, like, what is this service? Am I in the right place? Is this even for me? That's like kind of the first, like, does it solve my problem? Those are the first things you really are asking yourself when you hit a certain message, like a website or an ad, right? So I'll give you a great example. When a ad on Facebook, for example, calls out to me, because I'm a software as a service, I'm a SaaS founder. If it's talking to a SaaS founder and it addresses my problem and it brings me a solution, I'm going to stop for a brief moment and pay attention. Because if that specific customer avatar, or that's speaking to me, so it's very specific, and it solves a specific pain and problem that I'm interested in solving also, and it shows me a solution, well, hot dang, I'm interested. Now, that's how precise you need to be sometimes when you're talking to your customer avatar. You have to know exactly who they are. So we have a lot of real estate photographers who use CloudPano because they already take photos. So a 360 photo or a 360 3D virtual tour service just makes sense for them to add on to their business, right? So if I think about my messaging as I'm talking to a real estate photographer, or I'm talking to a photographer, or I had a guy on the phone the other day say, I'm a tech head, technical people that like technology. If I know who they are and they want to turn to a business, the more I understand that customer avatar, the more my messaging is going to resonate, because we're hit with messaging all the time. Does that make sense?
Right.
So I use this model and I just like cut a line down the middle. And it looks kind of silly. Like, honestly, it's a little person, there's two big circles line in the middle. I recognize the model is not like if you could like go places with your mind, but that's not what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to do is show that on the left, if someone's on the left, if a market is on the left side of the model, right, from this left circle, they don't know who you are, they're unaware of you, maybe even unaware of their problem, which is okay too. That's a more unaware. They're probably ice cold. They don't trust you. And if someone doesn't trust me, my messaging is different than if someone does trust me. It's like an example would be when I first meet somebody and I shake their hand and I say, hi, I'm Zach Calhoun. Nice to meet you. And they tell me that, hey, I'm Ronnie. They tell me their name. right? That messaging is obviously different than when I see them again. Hey, buddy, what's up? How are you? Good to see you again. Give them a hug, give them a kiss, give them, say how you doing? How's your family? Like that's on the right side of this model. So why am I saying? Well, whenever we market to people, cold email, we're calling them. Every once in a while, it's a cold call or just a warm call, or writing marketing copy or advertising or brochures, etc. If you have not met that person and you're pretty sure they don't know who you are very well, you need to make sure you've established what that is. So a great example of this as well too is this applies across the board to everything human, all human communication. So here's an example. On CloudPano.com's website, the goal of the website has to be pretty much one thing. You got to pick what that one thing is. So we had to pick customer avatar first, and then I know how to talk to them. Well, at the beginning of the website, like we got to talk about what we are. Where are you? You've landed to you're on a website about 360 virtual tour software. That's where you are, right? And we have to say that early on, right? We don't want to bury that lead down low. And then in one of my headlines, I even put this, I wrote this a long time ago. So I wrote down, what is 360 virtual tours? What is it, right? Now, if you don't know what it is, you are interested in that headline. Actually, it helps you know better about what it is. Now, as you get deeper in the copy, you'll notice that I increase the features and the more detailed, I give more details about items or about our messaging as you get deeper in the copy. So using this model, actually I move you to the right side by educating you on all the important items. And then once you know them, my messaging can shift to the known, aware, hot, and trust type messaging. Hi, Heather, how are you? Welcome to the call. So basically I'm showing Pretzel and Ronnie this like mental model I wrote out for our team about messaging and how important it is to understand, like, first off, your customer avatar, and then on the left side is like when someone does not know who you are, they're cold, they're unaware, they're unknown, they don't trust you, and then what your messaging needs to be for someone that they know you or aware of you or hot or trust you. And also you can apply offers into these specific circles. So if someone doesn't know who you are at all, well, you're probably going to be offering something for free, right? A free download, a free case study, a free training, right? So your offers on the left side of this model are totally different than the right side of the model when someone knows who you are, right? Now you can charge $1,000 product, $5,000 product. All these products and services can go up in value and price because they know who you are. But the reality is very simple. You cannot add those higher ticket items on the left side unless you're just like in this weird, super strange market. The reality is that most of the time, they don't know who you are. The first thing they want to do is know who you are, right? So you help them by giving them free value or very low ticket offers. So if you look on the CloudPano website, we have a free download, a free pricing guide. Well, that is a big deal because people are like, well, I'm kind of interested in what the price, or maybe what other folks are pricing, so I'm going to download that. And now we deliver this awesome report, and they're like, shoot, this is cool. It's brought me value. Now I know these guys are legit, and they get moved to the right side of this model. Big deal. So now they're ready to consider Pro Plus and consider these other things. They'll consider joining us and paying us money because we already brought them value on this left side of the model. So my point is this: we need to think about our messaging and our offers with just like these two ideas. And it's kind of three ideas really, because you have to know who your customer avatar is first. You have to really know who they are. It's like a super big deal. Like, what do they eat for breakfast? You know, how old are they? What are their pains? What do they really care about? When you talk to enough of them, you're going to know. Okay, it's just kind of how it works, how their ecosystem works in that niche, et cetera. And then you craft your cold messaging differently, how you craft your warm messaging. It's a big deal. So what I've really been thinking about, the reason why I drew this black line down the middle of this little picture, and it's kind of like a very simple picture. I can show you an example, of how we filled this up with stuff. But I'm kind of spare you of those. What I want to talk about though is this black line down the middle is very important. This is what I call you need an awareness mechanism. Okay. every marketer that's worth his salt, and you guys see this all over the internet, all over the world, all over companies, they all have something that brings awareness to their brand, to their company, to their market. And you have to decide what that is because it's informed by what you have to offer. So if you think about it, like most of our best customers, like in any business, you think about your business as well too, like how they become aware of me. Like what was the awareness like mechanism that took place that moved them from the left side of this model to the right side? And can I repeat that awareness mechanism? I gave an example of that pricing guide on CloudPano.com. What's the awareness mechanism that brings them over to the right side? And then once they're there on the right side, they know who I am, I can make offers to them because I've already built a level of trust and rapport with them. I have done the work to maintain goodwill, right? It's kind of a goodwill mechanism. You call it a goodwill awareness mechanism, right? So we got to have that. If we don't have that, there's no offer taking place. Otherwise, you're just doing stuff for free on this left side, which is okay. But they consume that free thing or that low value, that low price thing, and it really helps them. Now you can make them a better offer in the future because you have goodwill. They have awareness now. They know who you are, and they hopefully trust you, right? So this works on a website as well too for messaging. Like if you have sub pages on a website, like if sub pages are designed to like give people more awareness, but they're a little bit deeper in your page. The home page should be designed for the left side person, the cold, ice cold person, because I can't assume that anybody knows anything about anything when they show up to my website. I have to assume that they're a caveman and this is the first time they use the computer their whole entire life and they found my website somehow. That's what I have to assume, right? So this is powerful because I showed my team this. I showed this to Clayton because me and Clayton will like butt heads about messaging all the time. That's not, I don't know. I think we see the world differently, you know. That's okay. You don't want to part with someone who's like, you're like a clone. But I was having a hard time communicating what messaging we should do and when, because when is just as important as what, right? And so I drew this model out and I said, we got to get people from the left side to the right side. And if they're in the left side yet, we got to help them. We got to build things and build a rapport and help them to a point where they are on the right side, right? And then we can make offers to them, no matter what niche it is. So yeah, so does that make sense? What are your questions so far? How are you thinking about your business and what your awareness or goodwill mechanism is? You know, do you have one? You know, do you have, like, we call them VSLs, video sales letters? Do you